Hey guys, it's Laurel and Halloween's coming up. So I thought it would be interesting and slightly spooky to talk about some ghost encounters that I have personally experienced. Let's start this video off with, yes, I believe in ghosts or spirits or, people hanging out after death because of these experiences that I have had. And one of the other stories is about my dad, an experience that he's had. And my dad is not a liar. He does not make up stories. He does not exaggerate. I believe his story wholeheartedly. So why don't we start with his story? When my dad was a kid, he lived in a small town in Iowa with his 9 other brothers and sisters. A few blocks away from their house, they would play baseball on an abandoned, empty lot. And one day, when my dad was decently young, but old enough to remember this very vividly, they were playing baseball, and the ball went into the street, and my dad went to go retrieve it. And he did not look where he was going. He was very intent on catching this ball. Once he got to the edge of the lawn, he felt a physical presence push him back, because right as he was about to cross the street, a car came rushing by. My dad says he felt like a hand physically push him back and save his life. If it weren't for this physical push from this ghost or spirit or whatever, my dad would not be here today, and I would have never been born. My second story is my first ever encounter with what I believe was a ghost. As a kid, I had a lot of imaginary friends, but my mom told me recently that all of my imaginary friends would only stick around for 2 or 3 days, and then they would disappear and I would have a new one. Except for one imaginary friend that stuck with me throughout the whole time I lived in my first house in Omaha. Also, all of my imaginary friends had weird names, but this imaginary friend's name was Sarah. I remember exactly what she looked like. She always wore the same clothes, she always wore her hair the same way, and I remember how she died. Sarah would follow me everywhere. I don't know how far she went with me outside of the house. I do remember one time getting in the car with my family and buckling her into the car, and my parents were like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I have to buckle Sarah into the seat," because that's how Sarah died in her life. She got in a car accident and didn't have her seatbelt on. That was my first ever experience with a ghost. I truly believe that most children can see ghosts better than anyone else in the world because they're not old enough to have their mind closed. And so I think that spirits try to communicate with children more than anything. And I think that a lot of people's imaginary friends, the ones that stick around, are ghosts. And my third encounter and experience with a ghost had to be, I think I was probably 5 years old. One night I was getting ready for bed and my grandma helped tuck me in. And we had a long conversation about my day and about how her past week had gone. And then I went to bed. The next day, we were sitting down, I think probably at the dinner table, I think it was dinner, and I told my mom and dad,
"Grandma tucked me in last night."
So they kind of looked at each other like, okay, what did your grandma say to you? And I told them this conversation, this long conversation that I had that a 5-year-old could not make up. I told them exactly what grandma had told me about her week, stuff that obviously I couldn't have come up with on my own. Then my parents broke the news to me that the night that she came to visit me, she had passed away. So before she went away for good, she said her goodbyes to me. Ow. Oh, my heart. Those are the only 2 real, crazy, real experiences I've had with ghosts. And I believe them because I don't think 5-year-old me could have just come up with this conversation I had had about my grandma that I didn't know was dead. Yeah, I hope you guys found this interesting. If you guys liked the video, give it a like, and I will see you guys on the tube later. Have a happy Halloween. Whee! If you guys have had any crazy ghost stories, let me know either in the comment sections or make videos about it and tag me in it. Let me know so I can go and watch your videos and give it a like myself.